Hey y'all, Kaycie here, and today I'm going to share with you 3 of my absolute favorite ways to release into my lower back and into my hips using therapy balls. So I have a set here side by side inside this little pouch. You can use anything you have at home. These are tune-up balls, specifically the alpha size, so these are the larger size. If you don't have this or anything like this at home, you can always take tennis balls or lacrosse balls. Do want a little bit of firmness, but also some softness. And like I said, these are about the size of an orange. So if you have something the equivalent to that size, you can stuff them into a sock to have them side by side and just kind of knot it up on one side. If all you have is one, we can make it work. Just skip the first exercise and you'll be good. Everything we do today is going to be from a reclined position, so really accessible. Let's jump in. Just close your eyes from whatever comfortable seated position and just stack the spine up a little bit taller. And with the eyes closed, just let everything kind of melt through the face, all the way down your body. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath. And this breath that we're going to be doing is called box breathing. If you've never done box breathing, it's separating your breath into 4 parts. So you have an inhale, you have a pause at the top of the inhale, you have an exhale, and the pause at the bottom of the exhale, and then we'll start again. We're going to keep it nice and easy. We'll start with 3 count for each part, and then we'll add up to 4 at the end. Okay, so let's all exhale, let everything out. The breath will move in and out of the nose the whole time. So inhale through the nose, counting to 1, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. Through the nose, exhale, 2, 3. Hold at the bottom, 2, 3. Again, inhale, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. One more time like that. Inhale, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. To 4 count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Relax your breath. Notice it probably feels a little more full. If that was difficult for you, you can always stick with the slower, shorter counts in the future to kind of find your lungs' capacity. Well, let's go ahead and open up through the eyes if you haven't already. We're going to jump right into our therapy ball stretches, starting off on our backs, and we're going to stay there the entire time. So that's a huge plus. I will get up from time to time to kind of showcase certain things that might be helpful, but let's come down onto the back. And if you've done a supported bridge with me before, that's taking a block underneath your hips, your sacrum specifically, and releasing down onto that. So this is essentially going to be the exact same thing, except we're not going to be so high off the ground. So we're just going to use our therapy balls. Now, because there's 2, that means they're going to go to either side of the spine. We don't want to push directly into the spine itself. So begin to lift your hips away from the ground with your knees bent, and you're going to slide your therapy balls underneath your sacrum. If you're not familiar with what the sacrum is, think the back of your pelvis, the back of your hips. There's a nice flat surface at the very base of the spine. It should feel firmly supported. It should also feel really good when you sink down onto it. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can always skip over it and modify whatever you need. But as you rest it at your sacrum, kind of get it to either side of the spine. And you're going to kind of feel almost like little pressure points. It's pushing in there. It doesn't have to be super, super intense. But you're just gonna kind of hang out here. We're gonna take about 5 or 6 really slow breaths in and out of the nose. Now you can either go back to that box style breathing, if that feels good to kind of regulate and lengthen the breath out. Otherwise, as you breathe, I want you to think about just filling up the 3 compartments of your torso, your belly, ribs, and chest, and not just the front body, but the back body and sides, all working together to expand and release. And this will help you slow your breath down a little bit to really get the benefits of all that oxygen pumping into the body and going into those areas that need a little extra attention right now. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take 5 slow breaths. All right. So I like to start off with the more mellow variations or stretches and then to slowly ease into more of the challenging or intense variations. So this should feel good, but it shouldn't feel like you're maxed out already. If you are, just breathe, move through, come out as you need, okay? Now, if you need to readjust your therapy balls for support or balance, stability, do that. But we're going to start to slowly lift the knees towards the chest. And at times, these therapy balls might want to move, shift, and kind of work their ways into shapes that aren't really working for you. So if it slips out, it kind of adjusts and it doesn't feel good, just bring it back into more of that neutral space at the pelvis, right behind the sacrum, and you'll be able to, once again, reposition into this as intended. So with the knees in towards the chest, okay, we're gonna play with pelvic movement. We're gonna play with a little bit of that tilting to help release into that lower back. We're gonna move really, really slow, okay? So as you hold on to the knees or hold on to anything for support, okay, your hands essentially can go anywhere that feels good. But you're going to slowly start to feel the knees draw more and more towards the chest. And as you do, imagine you're trying to tuck your tail under as though you're trying to reach it up towards the ceiling. And notice that lower back starts to lengthen and curl over. Maybe the knees come all the way to the chest. They don't have to, but you're working essentially towards this shape. Imagining you're drawing the legs in. And then you're going to slowly reverse this motion. So this is where sometimes the therapy balls can kind of slip and adjust. So move them if you need to move them. You're going to slowly start to lift the knees back up. And as you do, imagine you're trying to roll your tail over the therapy balls. So you're trying to point the tail towards the ground. It doesn't matter how much. Your thighs can continue pulling away from you until you feel almost that draping over. Nice. Stop whenever you need to. Make sure you're connected with your breath. Use your arms for stability or balance, however you need to. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly start to tuck the tail. Feel the thighs moving closer towards the chest. You're going to feel a slight rolling over those therapy balls. That's exactly what we're looking for. Keep drawing in. Keep feeling that tail wrapping up. And just kind of moving on your own. We're going to do this for about 5 or so more breaths. Really easy. One more round. And then gently start to lower one foot at a time down to the ground. And once the feet touch down, just lift the hips, slide the therapy balls out of your way for now, and just let the hips melt back down. Maybe little windshield wipers, feet about hips width apart, and just rocking your knees from side to side. It's amazing how much this helps with releasing that lower back. Feels so good. Okay. So we are going to work now into the piriformis. So this muscle specifically gets really tight in people's bodies. And this will help us kind of pinpoint and get in there a little bit deeper. So we're going to start with the left side just for the sake of the video and you having a good visual here. So cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Now you only really need one therapy ball here, but if you have both, you can keep them as is and really just using one the whole time. So with my left ankle crossed over my right thigh, I'm going to lean to my right side so my left hip kind of lifts off the ground. And I'm going to take my therapy ball and I'm going to kind of bring it right where that left glute is going to settle down. Now before I settle down, you can quickly kind of see, I don't want it just to push into the center of the glutes. I kind of want it to that outside so we can really find that good spot, right? Exactly what we're looking for. It's going to be outer hip glute area. And it's going to be nice and fleshy. You'll be able to push into it. You'll be able to adjust it until you find it. And trust me, once you get it, you'll know. So once you place your therapy ball there, go ahead and roll onto your back again and feel your glute connect. If it's not quite there, you can lift the hips and rock up onto it a little bit more or just keep tilting to that left side. And as you do, once I'm up on it, adjust if you don't really feel anything, but you can also make a micro adjustment to help bring in more sensation. And that's just letting your legs kind of start to drape over to that left side and feeling everything kind of fall heavy down onto those therapy balls. So rather than engaging where a lot of your weight feels lifted and supported away from the ground, I want you to let gravity sink your body weight down onto those therapy balls so you relax the muscles and allow them to fully settle down onto that point of tension. If you need to adjust, find your sweet spot. And once you find it, hold here. We're gonna let's take 10 really slow, deep breaths in and out of the nose. Try not to rush the breath. Now, once you've completed this next exhale, you're going to let your body weight start shifting back over towards that right side. Slow, slow, slow. Keep shifting until you feel your glute peel off the therapy ball. You can remove it out of your way. Bring it back to center through the hips. Uncross your legs. Once again, little windshield wipers. Holy moly. You're probably feeling a lot. I definitely am. Okay, other side. When you're ready, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Same setup here, feeling the legs tilting off to that left side. Until you feel your right hip peel off the ground, you're gonna take that therapy ball, slide it underneath the right glutes as you slowly start to anchor back down through the right side, rolling up onto that therapy ball, and then adjust. Find that fleshy spot on the side of the right glutes, and then you're going to slowly let your legs just kind of tip to the right and fall heavy. This, like I said, is a very tight muscle for many people, So allow there to be intensity. Know that discomfort is okay, but breathe. Take those deep breaths. Don't hold your breath. Don't clench tight. Don't take the tension and bring it into other areas of the body, such as the face, the hands, the feet. Let everything just kind of sink in and surrender. And since I've been talking a little bit here, let's take 8 more deep breaths in and out of the nose. Last full breath here. And then gently let your body weight tip back over to that left side. Feeling away from your therapy ball. Remove it out of your way. And as the hips come back to center, uncross your legs. And once again, little windshield wipers here. So I have been working us up towards the lower back. We're gonna work right into our QLs. And this, in my honest opinion, once you find it, you will know. Okay, and if you don't feel a lot of sensation, it's gonna require just a little bit of playing and adjusting, okay? So I'm gonna get up, but you could stay right where you are as long as you can see me clearly. Okay, so from here, we're gonna focus more on the lower quadrants in the back. So what I'm talking about here is underneath your rib cage. So wherever the rib cage is ending on the lower back, we're gonna focus on the sections between the ribs and the tops of the hips or pelvis, okay, on either side. We're not gonna do anything with the spine. It's gonna be to either side of the spine. So our QLs are gonna run within this area. Sometimes we need a little bit more pressure towards the top, near the ribs. Sometimes we need it more mid. Sometimes we need it more towards the hips. Sometimes a little closer to the spine, sometimes a little farther away. So being able to pinpoint exactly where in that lower quadrant of the back that we're wanting to target is going to require a little bit of play. Now, more than just that play, you might even feel that your legs want to adjust. Maybe they need to tilt to one side or straighten out. That's up to you to kind of play in your bodies and find the sensation, okay? We're gonna start with the left side, then move to the right, same way we did with the other stretch. So from your back, the way that we're gonna get into this, you're gonna bend the knees, walk the feet in towards the hips, lifting the hips off the ground. You're only gonna use one of the therapy balls. Once again, you can keep them together. You're gonna take that therapy ball and you're gonna bring it into your lower left quadrant on your back. And you're just gonna start maybe right below the ribs, maybe in, and you're just gonna kind of sink down onto it initially and just let your hips start to melt towards the floor. So you might sink down and be like, yeah, I don't really feel much. Adjust it. Maybe you sink down and you're like, holy moly, I can't even put my full weight down on this. Great. That is exactly what we're looking for, okay? We want to find that point where the body goes, ooh, that is something. We want it to light up a little bit. So go ahead and just let your body weight sink down. And as it sinks down onto it, just as much as it's bearable for you, make sure your breath is smooth. You can keep your knees bent, maybe tilted to left. Maybe you walk the feet out a little bit. Maybe you want to stretch one leg out straight. This is up to you entirely to kind of feel into those muscles, to start to soften here. We're going to take 8 deep breaths. Last breath here. If you adjusted your legs, you're going to slowly try to bring them back until you can lift the hips slowly off of the therapy balls. Remove them out from under that side and just settle the back down to the ground again. Just pause here for a moment. If you want to sway the knees, sway the knees. And we'll counter stretch by going right into the other side. When ready, press to the feet, lift the hips, taking now the therapy ball underneath that lower right quadrant. And then start to settle down onto it and keep lifting, readjusting until you find your sweet spot. Or one of many. Sometimes no matter where you land, you're gonna feel it. And sometimes it takes a little finessing to get in there. Once again, you can play with the angle of your legs. Adjust. It's a little harder for me on this side. There we go. Once again, when you find it, you will know. And then once you allow yourself to fully just drop into it as much as you're able, close your eyes and make sure the tension is not hiding in other places. Give yourself 8 slow breaths in and out of your nose. Last breath. And then take your time to bring the knees back to center. If you adjusted, lift the hips, remove the therapy balls out of the way, let the spine and hips settle back down. Maybe stay still, maybe give little gentle rocking motions. Maybe it feels good to pull the knees to the chest. Another breath or two. And then let's roll over to a side and gently press yourself all the way upright. Nice seated position. All right. So once again, thank you so much for practicing with me. Like I said, these are my... So thank you so much for practicing with me. These are my go-tos for kind of releasing gently into my spine, my glutes, my hips, my lower back. Kind of loosens everything up in there. Hopefully you feel very similarly. I would love to know in the comments. Feel free to share this with a friend you think may enjoy or get benefit from. And hit subscribe, and I will have more videos coming your way soon. Thank you.